Alrighty folks, welcome back. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. Happy 4th to all my American friends here. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. But yeah, back tonight, I've got a couple cars to look at from Tarmac Works. A new Bentley and a new Audi. So, Bentley Continental GT3, this is from Bathurst 2019. This is actually a car that we did not get from Mini GT. So, there's no direct Mini GT comparison with this one. That's kind of been the big thing with these Tarmac Works is how do they compare to the Mini GTs? Because the Mini GTs are, older, kind of pricey, kind of hard to find. So the fact that Tarmac Works was releasing these was pretty exciting. Unfortunately, I do see already a couple areas where that one is not very good. And then we have the Audi A4 Quattro. This is also the second version of this that we've gotten from Tarmac Works. I actually don't really think I had any complaints with this casting. I actually really liked this one, so I'm excited to get another one. I also think this livery is really cool and really fun too. So yeah, that's what we're looking at tonight. I also did pull out the previous two releases of these castings. So this was the first Audi 96 Macau. Looks really cool. I thought this one was actually pretty well done. I like I said, I don't think I had any complaints with this one. It was really good. So there's that one, and then this was also the first Bentley release. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. It's in the comparisons playlist. It should be one of the most recent ones. And yeah, I actually preferred the Mini GT over this one. This one just had some issues. Most noticeably, the paint was very off on this one. Like the color was didn't seem to be very accurate. There are some things that I do like better about the Tarmac Works. For example, like the brake details are really nice. They were older Mini GTs, and so they didn't have the tire printing. So that's a big thing that Tarmac Works does. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there was too many things I liked more on the Tarmac Works. Mini GTs are pretty good for their age. If the Mini GTs had tire printing like they do now, I would definitely say that the Mini GTs are better value for money, but the Mini GTs are also expensive too. So that's kind of the tough spot we get into is there's going to be a lot of people that don't have the Mini GTs, because like I have almost all of the Bentley GT3s from Mini GT. I don't have the presentation car, the test car. I'm missing the Pop Race Collab one. I think I'm missing... Actually, no, I think that's it for the GT3. Other than that, I have them all. So, but like, I've been collecting for a long time. Not a lot of people have. So, like, I'm glad that there's more options for some of these cars out there. I just wish Tarmac Works would just do a better job overall with everything they do. Anyways, that's kind of my overall complaint. I've said that many times. But anyways, let's start with the good one. Let's start with the Audi. Again, I really like the color theme for this one, and they do a good job with the packaging as well. They kind of match like the car's theme. I don't know. I like Tarmac Works Hobby 64 packaging. It's got like the blurred photo of the track in the background. Pretty cool. Here's the bottom. It does say in very fine print down at the bottom, licensed by Audi AG. And then there's the information right there. Super Tourenwagen Cup 1998. So yeah, very cool. It's got the actual like track on the base, and we should be able to take both of these off without super high risk of damaging anything. Really, the most fragile thing on these is the little tiny antenna on top, which I actually kind of wish they would not include, because these antennas don't scale well. They don't scale down to 1/64 scale very well, and they end up just being way too big. Tarmac Works is definitely not the worst brand when it comes to this. I'd say the worst brand is probably Hobby Japan. Actually, their antennas that they do look like it makes them look like RC cars. Anyways, so here it is. Again, really like the livery on this one. There is one big downside to this casting. It's something that a lot of Hobby 64s in general suffer from, and it is plastic base. Makes the car feel very light. And weight does kind of correlate subconsciously to quality too. So like the lighter the model, the less quality it's going to feel. Obviously, if you can get over that, it's not that big of a deal. But for the price they're charging for these, why are we not getting metal bases? Like, come on. These are like $25, sometimes even more. Like, that's kind of the normal retail price. So, in my opinion, having a plastic base, especially when there's not really a lot of detail, I just think it should be there. And I don't think there's a single person that would really disagree. There's probably a lot of people that don't really care, but I doubt anyone would disagree with that. But anyways, really like the livery on this one. So it's white, yellow, red, and blue, and it looks really cool. There's all kinds of sponsorship logos on it. Like there's Recaro, OZ Racing, Michelin, DHL obviously is the main sponsor for this car. Just really cool. Audi Castrol. Yeah, really cool. The name on the back window there. It does have the little photo etched metal tow hook up on the front bumper right there, which is also pretty dope. Audi badge in the grille, which is actually just printed on, which I prefer. I think it always just makes it look more consistent. Grille, pretty good, not too bad. It's got some silver outlining. It's a Tarmac works. It's not going to be the most like the little details aren't going to be the most precise ever, but I feel like overall they do a fine job. The headlights on this one are actually pretty nice. Got some nice bulb detail. The acrylic lenses are nice and clear. A little bit of orange on the sides for the turn indicators. It's also got some ABT sponsorships as well, which I know is another German brand. And I know they do like, I don't know what they used to do back in the day. Maybe they're just kind of like a tuning company for like Audi, but maybe they were similar to like Alpina for BMW or like AMG. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I know like nowadays they actually make body kits, and like they do a lot of aftermarket stuff for Audi. So I'm assuming that was kind of how it was back in the day too. So cool to see the ABT logos there. I've actually gotten some ABT Audis from Mini GT. But yeah, really cool. I love the colors on this one. Arcor on the windshield banner, DHL on the roof. Again, that little plastic antenna. Kind of wish it wasn't there. Mirrors are nice. They're done in yellow. They've got little DHL logos on the fronts, and then little reflective stickers. Actually, this one just looks like reflective paint. Yeah, that's just paint on the back. The interior, I think it's got like a gunmetal gray roll cage. It definitely doesn't look black. And then I'm trying to see if there's any detail in there. It looks like we've got a red fire extinguisher on the passenger side, and then we've also got a harness on the seat that's got some nice coloring to it. So that is cool. The rest of it's pretty plain. I mean, it's a race car. But yeah, that all looks good. Here's a view of the back. Exhaust tips down here. Not the most like super detailed or like precise, but they get the job done. You know, you can tell that's what it is. They look fine. Taillights actually look pretty good. Nice acrylic. It's got red with a like a clear stripe through it for the reverse light. Looks pretty nice. And then, of course, the rear wing. This was just done in yellow. As you can see, the paint is not great on that. I see lots of chips and just little, I don't know, little imperfections, which is very, very common with Tarmac works. It's just one of the things you have to kind of accept when you're buying them, which sucks. I wish it wasn't like this. I wish we could just buy a model from Tarmac Works and it's just awesome all the way around. But they seem to very rarely ever do that, so... Yeah, it does have the tow hook on the back as well, photo etched metal, and then some more sponsorships and stuff in the back. Very cool. I like this one a lot. So yeah, there it is. What race was this one from again? Super Tourenwagen Cup 1998. So I do really like this casting though, even though obviously Tarmac Works just isn't perfect, but I do quite like this casting. It's not a car we see in 1/64 scale very often. So I'm actually pretty happy to get some of them. I know there's another one coming out in a livery that is almost exactly like this, and I think there's also a dark green one coming out too. So hopefully they keep doing them. I think they're pretty cool, regardless of just the typical Tarmac Works problems. You know, if it's a car you really like and you want it in your collection, you know, I think they are worth it. If it's not really a car you love, don't buy them. Don't buy them. Anyways, let's move on to the Bentley. So. Again, Bathurst 12-hour 2019. Here's all the information on the bottom, Bentley licensing, and then all that stuff right there. Again, themed kind of similar to the car. It's got the silver and the green. Again, blurred track in the background. And the track on the base as well. Should be able to take this one off as well. Again, like I said earlier, just say it again. We don't really have a direct Mini GT comparison with this one. This is just one that Mini GT didn't do, which I'm not sure why they didn't do more of these Bentleys. I think that was kind of the back in the day where they didn't really. I don't think Mini GT has ever really utilized all the potential out of their like R&D. We did learn recently that Mini GT does have to remake their molds for the casting every like 3,000 models. So obviously they're, you know, they're getting their money's worth out of their molds, but I feel like they could get more out of their cast. Anyways, that's just a side thought. So here is this one. Very cool car. When you just look at it from a glance, I think it looks fine. But there, like I said, there's a couple areas on this one that I'm not too happy with, and we'll just start with those. So number one being, and it might be a little bit better now that I have it out of the packaging, headlights. So as you can see, it does have 2 acrylic lenses on each side. The acrylic lenses themselves actually look pretty good in my opinion. I don't think they look bad at all. It's got like some nice bulb detail. I wonder if Bentley used their crystal headlights for the race cars too. Probably not, right? Probably that's just like an extra expense. I don't know. Headlights look really good. They're kind of like almost like sparkly inside. I don't know if they actually use the crystal headlights for these race cars, but either way, lenses themselves look good. It's the problem I have is they use decals for like these like front green painted sections, and the decals don't line up properly with the headlights. So you'll notice this one right here is like a very like elongated oval shape, and while these side ones are kind of oval shaped, this like decal piece just doesn't really line up perfectly with the acrylic. It should be just shifted up a little bit higher and not quite as stretched. You can see there's quite a bit of area right below the lens where this decal like comes down. It just, I don't know, it kind of looks funky, and they're just not applied that well. There's like a little bit of overlap on this corner as well where it goes over the acrylic where it shouldn't. And then the same thing with this one too. It comes down too far, and then it cuts off like this top corner of this main headlight. The ones on this side definitely look better, but that's like my big complaint is like, why do that? Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. I feel like Tarmac works for the price they're charging. These should just be prints. This should all be printed on like Mini GT does for almost half the price. That's my thoughts. Headlights, not good on this one. My other main area of concern so far was the roof. You guys see that? That is horrendous. Like, come on. So it's got a chrome roof, which is pretty cool, but you'll see they use a decal sheet for the roof, which, okay, fair enough. I know electroplating and getting chrome colors is kind of difficult on diecast, but at least apply this decal better. Like, look how terrible this looks in the panel gap right there. It's all like bubbled through both sides of the panel gap. And then it also has, you'll notice on this car, there's like a little like escape hatch thing in the roof right there, kind of molded into the actual metal of the roof of the car. And that little mold is here on this car, but it's covered up by this decal, and it just looks terrible. It's just all like bubbled up. It doesn't sit down in that little panel gap very well. It just really doesn't look good. Not to mention, this whole little piece has like bubbles all over it. There's like little like rough dots. It's like, man, that is really, really shoddy work from Tarmac. Well, I should say IXO, because IXO is the one making these. I actually don't think IXO makes their own models. I do not think Tarmac Works actually makes their models. They contract all their models out to different companies to make. They might have a little bit of say in the design process, but they're not actually doing the quality control. This all falls under IXO, and all their models are made by Premium and Collectibles Trading Company Limited, which I believe is IXO's manufacturing facility. So that's a little bit of tidbit about that. But yeah, Tarmac Works, they need to like tighten the quality control on their products or something, because that is fucking bad. Sorry, but that's just bad. And same thing, I'm kind of noticing we got the same thing going on for the rest of the like paint too. In fact, I don't even think it's paint at this point. It looks like all the silver and green on the rest of the car is decal. Do you see how like we've got all these like bubbles and imperfections just across the entire car? How it's all rough? I'm pretty sure this whole entire livery is just one big decal. Yeah, because I don't really see any splits where the green and stuff starts. Yeah, it's like that all the way around. It's just really rough and bubbly everywhere. Wow, this is way worse than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's a really cool like car, like all these bad things aside, and I'm not giving Tarmac Works credit for making a cool car. This is just a cool car, like in real life that existed. But like, man, this is just unfortunate. Antennas on the top, Bentley on the wing. It's got the British flags on the side with looks like a kangaroo with boxing gloves, which would make sense because this was a Bathurst car. It's kind of cool. Taillights look fine. The silver outlining looks kind of buns on this one at the top right there in that panel gap, but yeah, that actually looks really bad. Wow, this is basically a throwaway model. Ooh, I might not keep this one. Nah, I probably will, even though I shouldn't. But yeah, I mean, brake details and tire printing look awesome, but aside from that, I don't really see any plus sides of this. Plus, just like with the Audi plastic base, I actually do have the old Tarmac Works logo on here. So I think somebody else mentioned it in the last Tarmac Bentley video we did. Somebody mentioned that they were pretty sure this is actually a really old casting that they've just been sitting on for a long time, which I could definitely see. I mean, if they've got the old logo on the base, then that would definitely make sense. But yeah, this one's not good. Not good at all. Very cool car. It looks good from about, let's see, let's go back out to normal zoom. It looks good right there. You know, it looks good right here. Heck, it even looks pretty good right here. But once you actually start like kind of taking a look at it, nah, not good. And I guess I'll end off with telling you guys how much I paid for these. Just standard Hobby 64 prices, I'm pretty sure. They were both about $20, so give or take. At least that's how much I paid for them on RC Mart. These usually retail for $25, so yeah, unless you really, really like this particular Bentley, and you want to try your luck with Tarmac Works quality control, I would skip this one. I would not buy this one. Let this one sit on shelves, and Tarmac Works can scratch their heads wondering what went on, and maybe they'll actually look into it. However, the Audi, actually a pretty decent model. Not perfect, obviously. It's Tarmac Works. We'll never see perfection out of them, but not bad. Not bad on the Audi. Bentley,